Alright, welcome back. So the last video cut off abruptly, and it cut off without me realizing it, so I got in pretty deep before I realized. Not super deep, but the problem was I have a very small disk on this PC. It's a solid state drive, so we can see 237 gigabytes is my capacity. Um, so I'm trying to play Skyrim VR with mods. So just deleting that alone freed up 90 gigabytes of space. So I need to either buy a bigger drive or be more conscious of which of how I'm installing the mods and having it take occupy less space on my disk. But probably I need another big mechanical drive on here that would make things a lot better. So yeah, just showing that. So then I do have the prior video uploaded, even though it's only 7 minutes, and this is where it got cut off. And then this is where I was down here. So we can see a lot of stuff. Well, actually, it's not that bad. So I'll read it again just because. Um, so how the process works once you're in the funnel. A lot of people might be familiar with this. Just a quick overview of the process in a typical tech company. We'll go through when hiring developers. So phone screen, technical interview, technical challenge, fit interviews, job offer, offer negotiation, offer acceptance. Order can be a bit different. The phone screen, congratulations, your resume wasn't a total train wreck and they've invited you for a phone screen. Note, sometimes you actually have to do the tech challenge first. The real purpose of this screen, which is often roughly a half hour with someone from human resources, not the actual hiring manager, is to make sure you've got a good chance of passing their technical interview and fit interviews. So consider it a light version of each of these. You'll probably be asked about some of the technical things you've listed on your resume, but not actually dive into the depths, though some places do a brain teaser too. And you'll probably be asked some more softer questions about why you chose the job and what you've done before. Companies vary widely in how they use the phone screen. The basic tactic here isn't a tactic. Be honest and enthusiastic and open, and don't be afraid to practice talking about yourself in front of the mirror. Final note, this is not one size fits all, and many companies skip the light stuff and dive right into the technical screens, so you've got to be prepared just in case. The coding horror link below is more descriptive about that case. So there we go. These I'll read later, probably in a dedicated video. The next section is the tech interview. The technical interview is usually the most terrifying part of the interview process. It's where they will assess whether you've got the technical chops to make it. That means you'll not only be asked very specifically about the work you've done, but also to solve logic problems or code live or whiteboard some new features. In fact, one point of the interview is often to push you to your limit just to see how you react to not knowing something. If you do an exercise too easily, they'll go to a much harder one. Especially as a beginner, you will hit a lot of stumbling points. The biggest asset you have is honesty and intellectual curiosity. When solving a problem, make sure to do so in a clear and logical way, explaining out loud why you're doing each step. Talk through your roadblocks and give examples of how you'd find the solution in the real world. Often that answer would be to Google for some particular function. Say so. They know you're not a Ruby/JavaScript expert, but they need to know that you'll be able to seek out solutions to the problems you'll inevitably encounter on the job. It's also totally okay to use a brute force, inefficient solution to a coding problem. That's often the best place to start, just so you can be sure you've got the right feel for the problem. You'll usually be asked how you can make the solution better, but that's so much better than trying for a brilliant solution and running out of time with no work to show for it. Again, your job isn't to be brilliant as much as to be adaptable and thoughtful in the face of challenges. And if you don't know something, it's better to say so and work with your interviewer to figure it out. Trust me, they want you to succeed as much as you do, because there's nothing tougher as an interviewer than seeing someone silently crashing on a problem and getting more and more frustrated but not asking for help or providing any window into their thoughts. You'll need to read up on a variety of things that weren't focused on in the previous few courses, including data structures and algorithms, just because they're favorite targets of interviewers. They may not be great indicators of coding skill, but the world is stuck in its ways, and you'll be asked those more sciencey, computer sciencey questions. All right, so here's some links. Optional reading has the potential to be your best friend. Comprehensively covers. So I guess I'll read the links. So here's preamp.com, which allows you to prepare for coding interviews and practice your coding skills with peers. Interviewing.io gives you a chance to practice tech screens anonymously online. Interview tips, how to ace your technical interview, how you can stand out in your next web developer interview. Post on the interview. Here we go. We can read 40 key computer science concepts explained in layman's terms. Google's Guide for Technical Development. Ruby on Rails popular job interview questions. Cracking the code interview is optional reading, and it has the potential to be your best friend. It comprehensively covers all the kinds of challenges you might face in a coding interview. It goes beyond the scope of what we've covered so far in this curriculum and touches on other subjects that are good to know because they will probably come up. All right, next section is coding test questions. 8 queens is a classic problem. Coding for interviews, know thy standard libraries. May be a bit of overkill for a junior, but never hurts if you've got the time. Project Euler has more generic and challenging problems that must be solved efficiently. They can be very computationally intensive. Code Wars has programming problems and examples of best practice. Join the Odin Project clan for allies. Hacker Ranks provides challenges, drills, and competitions on algorithms and data structures. LeetCode also has some great resources with problems, explanations, and challenges. Best of all, you don't have to create an account to view the questions. The real value of the sites mentioned above comes from engaging with them productively. A popular recommendation around the internet is to just go grind LeetCode. As you're aware of by now, common algorithms typically have a trick or a specific set of steps in order to get to a solution. When you are preparing to interview, the value and utility of wrestling with a problem for hours/days is little. It is more productive to search for the algorithm/pseudocode than practice problems that require awareness of that algorithm. This would be like being tasked with getting the length of a hypotenuse in a triangle, but having no awareness of the Pythagorean theorem. Without awareness of the theorem, that calculation can feel impossible, and you're trying to solve a problem that, took centuries and that some of the smartest minds that ever existed were able to solve. But just knowing the trick makes getting the result easy. A more practical programming example. If you've arrived at a problem that required awareness of a depth first search of a tree, but you had zero awareness of what a depth first search is, sitting there for days or for your whole lifetime trying to arrive at a solution would yield little benefit. Unless it wasn't known, you might get a Fields medal in mathematics. In that situation, it is more productive to just search common tree algorithms than return to the problem that was giving you difficulty. Okay, so next is algorithms training. We've got a Udacity course on algorithms, which is asynchronous. Not sure what that means. Then asynchronous algorithms, I guess is what that means. Then we've got a Coursera course on algorithms, semi-synchronous algorithms, I guess. Then we've got Visual Go, which visualizes many common algorithms to help students better understand data structures and algorithms. Then we've got architecture, so resources teaching software architecture with GitHub. Then we've got the tech challenge. The take-home tech challenge may occur before or after the in-person screen, depending on the company. They will give you an application or problem which will take up to a full day to complete on your own time. Examples of take-home tech challenges include building out a sample web app with tests or solving a challenging algorithmic problem using code. They'll evaluate you on the completeness of your solution and the quality of your code. If it occurred before the technical interview, it's a good mechanism for them to test your commitment. Up to half of people never even turn in a solution. So it's important to turn it in even if you don't think it's perfect, because that puts you in that half of people who are eligible now. The final step, fit. The final step before the final decision is usually to meet the whole team and get put through the paces at their offices over a period of several hours. They'll probably test you technically, but the goal is also to make sure you'd be a good person to work with. If any one member of the team doesn't think you'd be a good fit, you usually won't be hired. Advice: don't be weird or awkward even if you are at home. Well, that's bad advice. Yeah, that's really bad advice, because especially for someone like me, like, I can try not to be weird and awkward and still be weird and awkward. So, like, I think better advice, is to act professional. You're in a professional environment. You're going to be trusted to receive a lot of money from these people. So, like, even when you're meant to be kind of letting your guard down, it's just a casual thing with the team, still have that veneer of professionality and understanding that you're in a context where you are being assessed, your work is being judged, what you do and say matters a lot. You're not just hanging out with your friends. So I don't like how it says it here, especially with because I consider this to be kind of weird and awkward, wedged in the middle of this. So, like, no matter how you act, people will say you're weird and awkward. So that's just not good advice, because I could do one thing and then do the opposite of that thing, and both things would be said to be weird or awkward. So a better advice than this, I would say, is maintain that professional presence. You're still interviewing. You're still, even after you get the job, it's a workplace. Behave like you're in a workplace. Even if it's better to be weird and awkward in that way than to be weird and awkward in ways that aren't professional and aren't becoming of yourself as a professional, and in fact could even, like, get you in trouble and limit your opportunities. It's also a chance for you to test them out. If you've gotten this far in the process, there's a reasonable likelihood that you've got a good match. You'll need to figure out if this is the kind of company you want to work for, so bring a list of questions and make sure they get answered. A note on compensation. Be mindful when providing your salary expectations. Companies will always ask you, how much do you expect to get paid? Often in the initial phone screen. Providing a single concrete number can be the opposite of beneficial, because you may offer a number higher than their range and thus be deemed expensive, or you may have come in too low and now they know they may be able to cap your offered compensation at a lower number than they might have. It's safest to provide a range. For example, I'm looking for something between $80,000 and $90,000 a year in order to better meet their budget and to allow some wiggle room for negotiations. Once you have an offer, you can check it against fair market rate by asking other people. Hopefully you've got some people by now who you might ask, or going to the below resources to compare. While junior doesn't equate to being underpaid, do be mindful to adjust for years of experience, 0 to 1, as to get the most accurate picture. Okay, so we've got levels.fyi, Glassdoor, comparability, pay scale, and talent. You can use these to get a sense of what the appropriate range to ask for. Always give a range instead of a single concrete number, and make sure that your range is based on some research using these resources. Finally, if a recruiter has reached out to you, it can also be beneficial to ask what the budget is for the role up front. However, this must be done tactfully. If you have not been asked your compensation expectations and have not been told the budget up front in the initial message, it can be a great way to understand if both parties are wasting each other's time. But do keep in mind that asking must be done in a respectful manner. It can be helpful to phrase this by asking, is there an allocated salary range for the role? Sometimes they may reply that the salary is based on experience, so do keep in mind your range as you move through the interview process. Alright, so I'm going to sign in. I think I signed in with Google. Yeah. Mark complete. And then go to the next lesson. Alright, and that's it for this video. Let's see here. It's short. This is short enough for me. I'm going to pause it, maybe get something to drink, and then be right back. Alright, I'm back. This next section is really short. So the next section is handling a job offer, part of the Getting Hired course. Introduction. If you kicked butt, you'll get an offer. That means there's a pretty good chance you'll get to work there. But just remember that not all offers, especially verbal-only ones, are actually real. It's a good time to be happy because you did well, but don't expect that it's a done deal. We've seen companies pull offers for internal reasons or external reasons. The point is that it happens, so don't go buying a house until you've signed the documents. If it's just a verbal offer, ask them to email you the details. Do not accept right away. This is doubly true if you don't think it's a good offer. This is an important point for you. They've been totally in control of the process until now, and they've probably dragged their feet because they can. Who knows, an even better developer might show up, right? Now it's your turn. They've put a lot of effort so far, and any reasonable company isn't going to let you walk away over a few days or a few $1,000s. They should give you at least a week to decide. One big factor is compensation. The person making the offer usually has the discretion to bump it up a bit, maybe $5,000 in Silicon Valley, probably less elsewhere, without asking their manager, so it's often a good idea to negotiate the first offer. Maybe you're negotiating salary, vacation, relocation bonuses, or personal project status. It doesn't matter. Your position is a whole lot better when you're holding that offer. What's the best thing you can do? Get another offer. There's nothing nearly as good when negotiating as another offer from another company, which gives you the ability to walk away. You shouldn't be shamelessly callous and capitalistic about it. The goal isn't to piss off everyone who gave you offers, but do take advantage of this. And I'm not going to speak to this. I would say if you want a contrarian opinion on this, you'll have to do your own research to find that. Not only that, but remember all those companies that dragged their feet and you hadn't heard back from. Send every one of them who you are realistically interested in an email explaining that you have an offer and need to make a decision relatively quickly. See if that doesn't help them speed you along the process and maybe get you that other offer. As soon as you have an offer to work with, you suddenly have all that social proof you've never had since you haven't worked anywhere else. Use it. So this is for juniors. Once you've worked through your negotiation and hopefully had the chance to rank multiple offers, the decision must be made. That's a good choice to have to make. Congratulations. Now you get paid to keep learning. All right, so links. We've got 10 rules for negotiating a job offer, a long blog, but worth the read to get in the right mindset. Then we've got negotiating your startup offer from rob.by, gets into the equity component of some offers. So this is like getting stocks from the company versus getting a salary. All right, so next lesson, is the conclusion. You know what? I might as well just finish it up. So, final words. I hope you're reading this from your new office. If you get a job after doing the Odin project, let us know. We'd love to hear how everything went, and we have a Discord channel where anyone can share their success stories. The whole reason for putting this project out there is to try and onboard more people into the web development profession and tech in general. Hopefully your success will inspire even more people to give it a shot. Before you move on from the course, we would like your feedback here. Getting feedback is important so we can continue to improve the curriculum and get an idea of your experience. So build some kick-ass software, learn as much as you can, and pay it forward when you're able. Thanks for participating in the project. So I'm going to mark this complete. And now the Getting Hired course is 100% complete, but I would like to do some more videos on it. I would like to go back and read some of those extra resources and then do things like set up my own personal website and maybe give my resume a review. I'm not looking right now, but there's more videos to come in this series, even though I've finished all the writing. So that's it for now, but stay tuned because there will be some more videos in this series.